Welcome to MilSpouse Matters, the podcast dedicated to encouraging military spouses. I'm your host, Jen McDonald, and I was a military spouse for nearly 30 years until my husband's retirement. I'm now the mom of 4 young adults, including 1 active duty son. I also wrote the book, You Are Not Alone, Encouragement for the Heart of a Military Spouse. Through my experiences, I came to believe that we're only stronger together. Whatever life is throwing your way as a military spouse, let's talk about it. Hello, and welcome to MilSpouse Matters episode 64. This is Jen, and this is going to be kind of a shorter episode today. I really just wanted to come on and tell you about what's been going on and the break that's coming and not just disappear. First of all, this podcast started back in the summer of 2018, and I am so grateful to all of you that have taken time to listen. MilSpouse Matters has really grown and morphed since it originally began. We really started off just interviewing other military spouses, and that was what it was going to be, just all interview-based. And it's grown from that to what I hope is an encouragement to you in your military spouse life, bringing on guests that have something to add to you, or sharing tips, or even companies that you may not know about. So it's just been a growing process. And in fact, I even cringe a little bit if I go back and listen to the first episode. So if you're new here and you're going back and starting from the beginning, thanks for bearing with me. We all grow, right? It just is a process. And I know you're listening from all across the world, from all walks of military life, from people who their significant other is just going to boot camp to those that have been in a long time. And I'm thankful for each of you in your own unique way. And I really do, like I said, hope that this helps you somehow. And please keep sharing it with others that you might think would enjoy it too. Because my hope really is to just come alongside and support and encourage you in your military spouse life. So the pace of the podcast has been a little bit slower, a little fewer episodes this year, which I'm going to explain. It's a cliche, but life happens, right? I have been gone since April, and I really had not planned on that. I had 2 episodes I had planned to put out in May. And so I'm just going to fill you in on what's been happening. There's been some travel that's been good, and that some has been not so good. So I knew that we had family coming in May, and then I was going back with my kids that have our grandbaby to spend some time with them. And that all kind of got shifted around. And I did get to spend some extended time with her, which that was the good part. The hard part was that my father-in-law passed away at the end of April. And so we've done some traveling for the funeral and to support my husband's mom. He's gone back and helped her, with some of the logistics and moving. And of course, Jack, his name is Jack, was such an amazing person. I posted it on my Instagram, and I really appreciate all the sweet notes that you guys sent. And that has just been a difficult time. And as many of you know, if you've followed me on social media or just from listening to the podcast, my younger brother passed away at the beginning of the pandemic before all the shutdowns. And so that's been something I've been dealing with the past years, just some of that grief. And he was only 42. And I think I had a friend make a comment that we're sort of in a season of loss. And I thought that's such a good term. And I've been here before, and I know it will happen again. And if you've been there or you're facing your own hard time, whatever is going on with you, my heart goes out to you. And I hope that you have a faith that upholds you and a community that can help support you. So, it doesn't take the pain away, but it does help for sure. So that's been what's been going on with me the past about 6 weeks. And so I ended up putting off a couple of guests that I was going to have come on because I wasn't home to record. And I will be bringing them in the fall and just kind of putting some things off that I had planned on. So just to kind of explain, and I really actually, I'm going to be taking off the summer from the podcast and coming back this fall because I do just need a break and to focus on some other projects. Just be watching Instagram for those updates, and I will let you know exactly when. I don't want to tell you yes, for sure in August, if that's not going to be able to happen. because I need to take a break and kind of regroup and go from there. But I will be back. So I hope that you are being kind to yourself and schedule in breaks before you need them, because I am pretty bad about that. I tend to go and be really task oriented. Then my life forces me to take a break in whatever way that happens. So I hope that you are making some time to refresh and refocus, and just as things are opening back up, it's a little bit easier. You can go places now in most places, and just make some time for some fun memories and fun times. So what is coming? I wanted to share with you a few things to be looking for that I'll be working on over the summer, and also some potential guest opportunities. Who doesn't love a good deployment reunion? I will be sharing some photos from past guest, Navy spouse Bryce Langley. You may remember him from episode 53, where he talked about how he learned to embrace life as a military spouse. And he sent some really great photos. His wife just returned from a long deployment, and I think they're so sweet, and I'll be sharing those with you. Something else I'm going to be doing, I think we've done a pretty good job of having guests from every branch of the service so far. I think the only one I'm lacking is Coast Guard, but I will be doing a series with a new guest from each of the service branches. So Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Coast Guard I'm looking for, and I would also be looking for somebody to represent the Reserves or National Guard. So if you think that's you, or you think somebody that you know would be an amazing guest, just let me know. I have a form on my site. All you need to do is go to jen-mcdonald.com, and there is, under the podcast tab, Be a Guest. I wanted to take a moment to kind of reiterate. I get a lot of notes of people wanting to be a guest, and I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with being confident, but I feel like maybe they haven't read this intake form. And so I'm just going to go over that real quick. If you're thinking about it, and don't hesitate to reach out. I mean, if the topic doesn't fit or your experience doesn't fit, that's okay. And I do have a limited number of guest spots anyway. But if you think your story would be a good fit for this podcast and for my audience, I really would ask that you would listen to more than one episode in order to get a feel for what we're looking for. Please understand that while we can talk about your business or product, that's never the main focus of this podcast. I get a lot of folks wanting to come on and kind of plug their business. And if it's not something that is geared to help military spouses, it's probably not going to happen. I really do feel like my listeners trust me, and I'm not going to bring somebody in front of them that's not going to be helpful. So if you're just looking for exposure, this is not the place. You should have a compelling story that will either encourage other military families, give a unique twist on some aspect of military life, or share helpful information or resources for other military spouses. You don't need to already have a quote platform to be on the MilSpouse Matters podcast. I am looking for real, everyday, authentic stories about military life, some aspect of what we all go through, moving, deployments, raising military kids, helping with military marriage, employment concerns, military family life, and so on. You should have some experience with military life. So while the main point of this podcast is to provide encouragement, we don't shy away from hard stuff. We've covered some difficult topics or faith topics. In fact, I welcome it. So if you have gone through all that and you still think you'd be a great guest, or you know somebody that would, I would really appreciate you filling out the form on my website, and I will link to that. We have a listener Q&A coming up. I will be releasing that this fall. It'll probably also be on the blog before that. And another thing I'm really excited to share with you is a MilSpouse Stories series. And those will be some of the folks that are going to be in my upcoming book, and people that have been on the podcast, and just in a blog form or a way you can read and share it. And again, my hope is to share lots of different experiences so that you can find something that will help you. And speaking of that, still working on this book. I feel like I think I've said that since, I started this podcast. So it's my second book, and working on that. And I am trying to get myself in gear and refocus and get that finished this summer. That's one reason for the hiatus. And also a companion journal for my first book, You Are Not Alone, Encouragement for the Heart of a Military Spouse. I've had some feedback that people would like a separate journal. So I hope to have that ready for you soon. I've also been redoing my free 5-day deployment devotional and that will be up on the site soon. Again, if you just connect with me on social media, you'll see when all these things are coming out. Later on this year, I'll be looking for some reviewers for my next book who will get advanced reader copies, and I will take applications later for that. So if you're interested in that, keep that in mind. And I am also looking for more spouses to be profiled for the MilSpouse Stories series. So just get in touch with me if that's something that you're interested in. If you happen to be doing a book club or Bible study with my book, You Are Not Alone, Encouragement for the Heart of a Military Spouse, and you're looking to order multiple copies, usually 10 or more, please contact me. Don't pay full price for them on Amazon. If you want to contact me, I can give you a discount. So just let me know. So I think that is it as far as announcements go. And before I head into this time off from the podcast, if you are new here or you are just wanting to catch up, I hope you'll take time to explore the library of past episodes. I've tried to make it really easy for you to find. I have those listed on my site. If you just click on the podcast tab and it says listen to all episodes, there's a page that just lists them with no other notes. It's just one after the other. I also will be trying to put together some landing pages by topic. So if you're just looking for all the episodes that talk about military kids or deployments or PCS moves, that should be easier for you to find and share. So all of these are a work in progress, and I appreciate your patience as I do those, in addition to also working another job. So, these things, these things take a little bit of time, but they'll get done. I hope that wherever you're listening, that you're doing okay. I love hearing from you. So do please reach out. You can send me an email. You can contact me on my site or reach out via social media on Facebook or Instagram and just connect with me there. And I hope you have an amazing summer. I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening to the MilSpouse Matters podcast. Connect with me at milspousematters.com or on social media as @MilSpouseMatters. You can find my book, You Are Not Alone, Encouragement for the Heart of a Military Spouse, on Amazon and other booksellers. Love the show? Please leave a 5-star review in whatever podcast player you're listening, and then share it with someone else who could use it too. Until next time, have a great week.